let me say something that might be hard to hear. The thing you've been using to move forward, manifesting, the vision boards, the affirmations, the morning routines, build around attracting what you want, I think it might be the exact thing keeping you stuck. For real. Not because you're doing it wrong, but because the framework itself is designed to keep you focused on the wrong thing. I want to show you what I mean. Just stay with me and let me show you something first. So this is from a person that I know what I'm talking about. So this is a Joseph Murphy. This is a Brazilian Portuguese edition, 2000. This is 2000. The powerful miracle to achieve infinite riches. The 2000 edition. And look at this. This is a Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill. I don't know. The edition is copyright 1966, but I don't think it was printed in 1966. Anyhow, I have all the books. I got all the books. I know Joseph Murphy. I have read all the books. Napoleon Hill. I know all the drill. So just stick with me. You already know manifesting over promises. You do know what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm here to talk about today. What I want to talk about is what it costs you while you are practicing it. Because even if it gave you nothing, okay, even if it never delivered the job, the relationship, the version of your life you put on the vision board, it still took something from you. Here's what it took. It took your attention. It took your concentration and pointed it at the future every day, first thing in the morning, before you had processed yesterday, before you had looked clearly at what's actually happening in your life right now. Your practice was asking you to live somewhere else, to inhabit a fantasy, to feel into a reality that doesn't exist yet. That's not a neutral act. That's training your mind to be somewhere other than where you are right now. Just think of that. So Buddhism has a word for what happens when the mind compulsively generates alternatives to the present moment. It's called papañca, mental proliferation, the mind spinning out scenarios, comparisons, desires, fears, all of which pulls you away from the only moment you can actually do anything in. Manifesting is industrialized papañca. It's daily practice of living. But here's the deeper issue, okay? So listen to this. And this is what I want you to really sit in. Manifesting doesn't just take your attention away from the present. It projects you from it. Because the present, the right now, your actual life as it is, might have things in it you don't want to look at. A relationship that isn't working, work that doesn't mean anything, a version of yourself you have been meaning to change for 5 years or more, grief you haven't finished, fear you haven't named it. And the beautiful thing about sitting down every morning to visualize your better future is that you never have to look directly at your actual present. It feels like what? It feels like progress. It has the rhythm of a spiritual practice. It has the vocabulary of growth. But it is at its core a very sophisticated way of not being here. The Stoics has a practice called the evening review. At the end of each day, Marcus Aurelius would ask himself 3 questions. What did I do wrong today? What did I do right? What could I have done better? Not tomorrow, today. Epictetus, a man who was born a slave and had no reason to be optimistic about his circumstances, didn't teach students to visualize freedom. He taught them to look unflinchingly at what was true right now and to find the one thing inside themselves that could never be taken away. The Stoics understood something that manifesting movements has forgotten. Clarity about reality is not step toward transformation. It is transformation. So, what does alternative actually look like? So let me take this in a practical way, okay? Instead of starting your morning by visualizing what we want, try this. Take 5 minutes and write down what is actually true about your life right now. Not what you hope for, but what you are afraid of. That is true. Name 3 biggest sources of suffering in your life. Don't dress them up. Don't look for the silver lining yet. Just name them. Clearly, the way a doctor name a disease before beginning a treatment. Just do that, okay? Just like a diagnosis, just like a checkup. This sounds simple, but it's not simple. For most people, it's harder than any visualization practice they have ever done. And I bet most of you watching this won't do it because it takes courage. It takes a lot of guts. to do a self-examination. The Buddha's first noble truth isn't a theory, it's an instruction. The Buddha didn't say life contains suffering as an unfortunate footnote. He said it first before anything else, because nothing that follows, no path, no liberation, it's possible until you have acknowledged clearly what is actually happening with you. And the same, I can go further and say Christianity is the same thing. You have to take a deep breath, acknowledge your sins, self-examine yourself, ask for forgiveness, and then move forward. That's the first step. That's the path of the righteousness. Here's what I found in that what thousands of years of wisdom, and this is not yesterday's New Thought movement. Those are thousands of years of tradition. When you stop avoiding your present reality, you start looking at it honestly. Something changes. Not because you have attracted a better reality, but because the act of seeing clearly without flinching begins to wake up a part of you that the avoidance had put to sleep. That part of you is not the mind. It's not the part that generates the visualizations and affirmations. It is deeper, way deeper than that. The traditions call it many things, but most of them they call the soul, the true self. They call the Atman, the ground of being. But whatever you call it, it only shows up when you stop running. So manifesting told you that the problem is that you haven't attracted yet, and that you need more belief, more frequency, more alignment with your desires. You need the frequency, and you need to desire more, and you're not attuned to the universe or something like that, okay? What if the problem, now listen to this, what if the problem is simpler than that? What if it's just that you haven't looked, not at the future right now, but at right now? What if instead of looking the frequency, the attunement, the desire, you look at yourself first and you align yourself with your soul first? Because you can argue with me that Jesus says, whatever you ask in prayer, if you believe, is going to be granted. You can argue that. But you have to ask in what? In spirit. But we can talk about that in a later recording, okay? I don't want to talk about that now. So that's where the real change starts. Not the vision board, in the honest inventory, in the willingness to see your life as it actually is, with all of its difficulty, and to bring your whole self to it, not to escape it, to accept yourself as yourself. That's what the order, this channel, not only this channel, this is only the channel, but the order is built on. If you want to go deeper, the first step of your curriculum is exactly this: learning to see yourself, your suffering, your pain clearly. Because if there is a desire, listen, if there is a desire, there is a pain. There is a suffering. And I'm not talking here like a guru, because I know. I've been there. So without running from this pain, you gotta look. You gotta understand the pain. You gotta understand the suffering. And no escape from it. Do you understand? And finding that looking at directly is the first thing that actually helps. So there's a link below to our frequently asked questions about our order. And if you like and you understand what I'm talking about, the first thing you're going to do is subscribe to this channel, give it a like, and comment. I want to be part of. I want to be part of this order. I want to be part of this movement, because we're building something big here. We want to help people. We want to help people that are not only suffering, but help people to achieve without the fake. Achieve without the mask. Achieve without the need of wearing this fake dress or cloak. So click subscribe, and I hope I can catch you and see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.